Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. And we want to get an update from GCM Mining, the largest gold producer in Colombia. And Serafino Iacono is here with us. Hey, good morning to Colombia. How are you, Serafino?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking the time, and it must be really early in the morning here for you. GCM Mining, I'm a shareholder of the company, just for disclosure reasons here. And well, I'm a shareholder of the company because the company is fabulous underway. They are producing gold fantastically, and they pay a 1.5 cent dividend per month. This is what I love. As you know, the Swiss love dividends. And yeah, you already published your Q1 production numbers. Can you give us an update, please? How is the mine running here now in the first 6 months?
Well, look, the mining is running absolutely perfect. Our costs are under control. We're producing at a steady basis and beating our production from last year numbers. We are increasing our resources and reserves. We just published additional drilling results about 3 weeks ago with some amazing numbers, up to 270 grams of gold per ton. So with almost a half a kilo of silver. So these veins in the system of Segovia keep on going, keep on of giving us incredible grades, some of the top grades in the world. The new areas that we're working on the last report that we did, we're finding more of the same vein systems in the new 2 mines that we have opened, Vera and in Sandraka. And we're going to be coming out with more and more results with more and more high grades. The other thing that the market has to see that, yes, the price of our shares have gone down in the last 30 days with everybody in the commodity and the market. But you mentioned getting a dividend. It is a fantastic dividend. Right now, you're getting a 5% dividend on the stock paid on a monthly basis. I mean, there is very few investments that you can come in with safe and steady production like we are. The other update that it's very important, I don't know, if you have a question, please.
Yes, I just wanted to talk a little bit about your increasing reserves and resources. Also, you mentioned it already, but I must say the total inferred resources increased 41% versus 2020, and the total M&I increased by 14% versus 2020. But you are fully producing. I mean, you have not only replaced production, you have added actually to the mine life.
Well, because everybody has misunderstood what this mine is. This mine, it's not really a mine, it's a district. We have 27 mines, which we're working out of only 4 right now. And we're planning to open 3 more fronts in different areas, and that's what I was talking. So for us, replacing reserves, it's a normal thing. Some people complain about the company. Why do we have only 1 million ounces in reserves and the rest in resources? Well, it's a very simple reason. We'd rather put the money in development than sinking $50–60 million into taking the resources into reserve and leave them there for the next 5 years or 6 years. That's not very good spend money. We understand the system. We understand the geology of this mine. This mine has been producing for 120 years. And still we are scratching the surface after 120 years. The vein systems are consistent. They don't disappear. They don't pinch and swell. They're very steady. What you get is what you see. and very easy to identify. So what I have in front of me right now, and my next drill hole is 50 meters away instead of being 25 meters away. I know that between where I am and that 50 meter, the vein is the same vein and it goes in the same direction and it doesn't disappear. So for us, it's very easy to identify and to keep these reserves where they are.
Yeah, and also I think the grades are very consistent. If we go with an average, like, I mean, you are between 12, 13, 14 grams gold, right?
If you, you're absolutely right. If you go historically, and we have, I always urge our investors to go in our website. We have the Frontino Gold Mines 1950 to 1974 annual report. And if you look at the production and the grade, you will see the production. Obviously, in those days, they used to do between 80 and 100,000 ounces of gold. We're doing double that amount, but the grade, it's always been the same.
Always same, yeah. That's amazing. How is the processing going of your base metals? Because I see that also as a big bonus, honestly, for shareholders, because you are now able to really to process tailings, to process, or now for zinc, for silver, lead, etc. How is that going?
It's going incredibly well. As a matter of fact, to the point that as we start increasing the capacity of the plant that we want to take, we're going to take it to 2,000 tons a day. We're increasing also the tailing. The tailing has two purposes. Number one, environmental for us. We have a very high lead concentrate in the rock. We have a good zinc, very good zinc, 1%, over 1% zinc, but over 2.5% lead. And we're left with always about 2 grams of gold and 40% of our silver. So 40% of an ounce of silver stays in the tailing. All of this was going into a special pit and not to be used. And the special pit was lined. Why? Because you have heavy metals. We are now recovering all these metals. Number one, it's fantastic. The government is happy because we don't have to deal with heavy metals management. And so environmentally very friendly. Number two, it produces 16 tons a day of concentrate. And it's a concentrate that makes great money. And it's money that we are going to start seeing in our cash flow, which we never were counting on. But when you think about that, this is a 40 to 50% concentrate, you get about an average of about, it would be the equivalent of about 3% zinc. So you're talking about, 8 tons of zinc, 9 tons of zinc concentrate. So you're talking serious money every single day. And this could be an addition between $8 and $10 million to the bottom line of the company every single year for doing nothing except cleaning the environment.
Yeah, and you help the environment and you make 8 to 10 million. I mean, beautiful, isn't
Absolutely.
it? It's a win-win situation. Super. Let's switch shortly over to Toroparu in Guyana, because that's your next big mine project. So how is the construction going there? How when will we see the first pour?
Well, we are not only on track, we're ahead of our track. We already started pre-construction. We're doing the road that's going to be key for transporting the equipment and to doing. As of this month, we already done the purchasing of all the equipment. Our budgets, different than some of the mining companies, are not out of whack with the inflation. So our prices of metals, our prices of equipment, our prices of everything that we have done so far is pretty much on budget, maybe a little bit, but not something to be concerned on. We have compensated. We already chose the company that's going to do the contract mining. The company is a major company that does that for a business worldwide with very good prices. So they're going to be starting pre-stripping in September.
Wow.
The pit. In the meantime, the equipment has been ordered. The camp is being built. We're still continuing drilling so that we can identify more extension and more ore body. We're going to be coming out sometime in August. It's going to be ready in July, but probably by the time we're finishing wrapping it up and everything will be sometime in August with the pre-feasibility, which is going to give us the guide of where to have. We're very excited of the reserves that are going to come out of this, the mineable reserves out of the 11 million ounces that you have. It's going to be tremendous. And we are still on track with cost of operation because most of the work that we're doing is contract mining. So pre-stripping, stripping, mining, disposal of material, it's all contract mining. The operation of the plant is going to be done by us, obviously. And the rest is all done by companies that come in and come out and do the work. So we're going to be very lean and mean. This project still is on track to repay itself in the first 2 years of operation.
Wow.
And we are still on track to go to produce by 2024.
Okay, super. Glad to hear that as a shareholder. And how does it look like with the AISC? You have $916 in the PEA here in your presentation on the website. Is that still something you would say that's achievable, or is it a little bit more due to inflation?
It's even more than achievable. It's on track.
Okay. And the annual production, you think, would be then like 250,000 ounces when it would be commercial production?
First year probably will be about 250,000, and then we're going to stabilize it between 250 and 230. We haven't decided yet. We have a very long life mine in this project. This project has got 21-year mine life and still open. Okay, so what's going to happen? Most likely, this project, as we start developing it, and now we got to make a decision that we had made, that we have on our PEA right now. We have it for 5 years from now, which is mining the copper. We might actually advance the mining of the copper maybe by year 3 or year 4 instead of year 5 or year 6. So this is going to change the demographics of the project. It's going to change the size and the scope of the project. And as we find more ore to be mined, this project, I believe it's going to increase in size, and it's going to be a project that very easily could go to 300, 400,000 ounces a year in the future.
Wow, so that means you will be then approximately 500, 600,000 ounce producer within the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Altogether. Super. So then the big question, when will we see a rise in the dividend?
Well, right now we're getting 5%. Look, everybody wants more money. You know, we get torn with our investors. We get investors that say buy back shares because he's so cheap. We just don't see that. I think right now, when you're in the construction of a project, and cash is king.
Absolutely.
So we're comfortable right now with the dividend that we're paying to our investors. Once we get Toroparu into production, it's going to be a different story. Obviously, there's going to be more cash flow. You know, this company goes from 220 to 500,000 ounces almost a year production. So that's a completely different monster. So obviously, there's going to be more cash flow. There's going to be more openness for us to do things. But right now, with investors, we're happy with the dividend. We are not going to, we were buying shares back, but it's sort of like in this kind of market, I feel that I'm promoting more people and the electronic trading by me creating liquidity for that. And I honestly believe that right now with these kind of markets, the best thing in the world is to keep cash in your pocket. And I give you an idea. In the last 30 days, I put aside $35 million US sitting in a bank account, nice and comfortable, to have it over there. And it's a cushion. And,
definitely.
And that's what we want in these crazy markets and this crazy day. I know that sometimes investors get, well, you should buy my shares back because he's so cheap. Yes, well, if he's so cheap, I think investors should buy shares. Like
that's what I did today.
Like buy shares, not the company buying shares.
I'm totally with you. So that means you have also, let's say, additional cash now stored in the bank, so that no, let's say, fancy surprises in the construction, etc., can kill you.
No. We are so comfortable. Just think of it this way. I just lent for a year and a half to Aris Gold $35 million. So there is 35 million sitting there. There is 35 million more sitting in the bank account. And there's going to be more money sitting there in the next months. Plus, we have all of our money still from the Toroparu project. Obviously, we're starting to spend some of the money, but the Wheaton money hasn't been touched yet. And that's $145 million sitting there. So we're fully financed. We're comfortable. We have great projects. Colombia, politically now, I feel much more comfortable. This president has finished the rhetoric of left rhetoric, if you want to call it, and is coming to reality, which is mining is not going to disappear. The country needs to produce minerals, not only to satisfy income for the country, but also because the world market needs these metals. So you can't talk about green if you're not going to be producing certain metals, and especially now with what's happening in Europe that you and I were talking about before. Colombia sells 80 million tons of coal a year to Europe, mostly to Germany, Italy, Spain, and England,
and they need
France. And they need it.
Yeah, they need it really.
And by the way, Colombia only has 2 plants that use coal to make electricity, which represents 3% of the electricity produced in the country. So, but Colombia receives $30 million a day from coal and receives $50 million a day from oil. You cannot afford. So me as a mining entrepreneur feel very comfortable that nothing is going to happen in this country that's going to be drastic to make investors be wary about investing in Colombia. But then I have it also balanced with Guyana, which is pretty stable, English law or common law. So very easy to understand country. And it's my yang of the yin that we have in our mind between Colombia, and it's steady, and it's going to be a supplier of gold, and it's going to be a supplier of income. As I said before, this thing is going to give us, in the first 2 years, we're going to pay our investment back. Tell me what project gives you that?
Not that many, I would say. Absolutely. No, fantastic. Super. Serafino, thank you very much for the update. I would say everything looks great. And also thanks for your comments on the politics, because that was something I wanted to ask you. So that also, gives me the confidence that everything is going well, because you live in the country also most of the year. And I would say keep it going, build Toroparu, go 2024 really in production, and make the next 500,000 plus producer here with GCM. Super. And then from, let's say, 2026 latest onwards, we get a higher dividend. Okay.
Well, we'll try to do that.
Okay.
What we got to do is we got to grow with what Gran Colombia and all these companies need in the future. On a closing note, This year is going to be a year of consolidations of companies. The market has asked and is asking for companies like us to grow. And that's going to be the key of a company like us. Nobody wants to see a 300, 400,000 ounce producer. People want to see an 800 to 1 million ounce producer. And I think that's where the world is going to be going. You're going to see the same thing that happened in the 1990s, where there was a consolidation that created Wheaton Precious Metals, consolidation that created Newmont and Barrick and everything. You're going to see the next formation. This is my prediction of the next formation of the major gold companies going to be coming soon this year and next year in a consolidation.
Absolutely, 150% agreed. I have the same view on that. Super. Serafino, thank you very much. And yeah, all the best. And I think we talk soon. Thank you. Yeah,
Enjoy.
ladies,
Take care.
thank you. We will do. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Serafino Iacono from GCM Mining. Yeah, Colombia's largest gold producer. And you heard it. Things are going extremely well. Also politically, that was something which was really interesting from my side also. Things are really stable now and going smoothly forward after the elections. That's always important when you mine in let's call it second world country, but also Toroparu is moving really forward, and also it seems like inflation is not really a big issue here, and in approximately 2 to 3 years we will see then GCM Mining being a 500,000 ounce producer. They are producing already well over 200,000 ounces. Costs are under control, and don't forget please, they pay a monthly dividend. That's exactly what we like as shareholders. So thanks for watching us. Check out GCM Mining. The stock is really now in our buying zone chart wise, and we really urge you to have a very, very close look on it. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.